Rain poured down behind a luxury restaurant. A millionaire woman in an evening gown clutched her stomach. She leaned against her sports car. Her face was pale. She whispered through the pain, "I can't go to the hospital." A single dad mechanic stood nearby. His uniform was covered in oil. He was closing his repair van. He heard her cry out. He ran over. She was doubled over. He spoke calmly. "If we don't go now, you might not have a later." She shook her head. "You don't understand. I can't." He knelt down. He looked into her eyes. "I do." I said the same words. "And I buried someone I love." Her world stopped. His name was Jack Turner. He was 37 years old, a single dad mechanic who ran a small mobile repair business. He fixed cars wherever they broke down. His daughter was Lily. She was 8 years old. She loved drawing cars. She dreamed that one day her dad's van would never break down again. Jack was a widower. His wife died 3 years ago. She waited too long to go to the hospital after stomach pain. By the time Jack carried her through those doors, it was too late. That night left him haunted. He made himself a promise: never let anyone delay emergency care, not ever again. The woman in the parking lot was Camilla Rhodes, 32 years old, a self-made millionaire from real estate. She was famous for being cold, for never showing weakness, for crushing every deal. But nobody knew her secret. When Camilla was 9, her mother went into a hospital. She never came out. Camilla waited in that hallway for hours. She heard the machines beeping. She heard doctors shouting. She smelled the disinfectant. And then a doctor knelt down and said the words that broke her. "I'm sorry, we did everything we could." From that day forward, Camilla swore she would never set foot in a hospital again. Never smell that smell. Never hear those machines. Never wait in those hallways. She would rather die than face those doors. Tonight, Camilla had just finished a loud fundraising gala. She felt pain in her stomach since the afternoon, but she ignored it. She kept drinking to wine. She kept signing contracts. She kept smiling for cameras. By the time she reached the parking lot, the pain became unbearable. Cold sweat dripped down her face. Her vision blurred. Her heart raced. She could barely stand. Her assistant rushed over. "Miss Rhodes, I need to call an ambulance." Camilla pushed her hand away. "No hospitals. I'm fine. I just need a minute." The assistant panicked. She called the driver, but the car was stuck in traffic across town. It would take 20 minutes, maybe 30. Jack had just finished his last repair job. He was parked nearby, packing up his tools, locking the van, ready to go home to Lily. Then he heard voices, arguing, crying. He walked over. He saw a woman in an expensive dress, doubled over, gasping. Her assistant looked terrified. A security guard stood there doing nothing. Jack stepped forward. "Has she eaten tonight? Does she have any medical conditions?" The assistant stammered. "I don't know. I only know her meeting schedule. I don't know her medical history." The security guard stepped between them. He looked Jack up and down. Oil-stained uniform, dirty hands, old work boots. "Stay back, mechanic. We don't need your help." Jack ignored him. He looked at Camilla, really looked. Cold sweat, pale lips, rigid abdomen, shallow breathing. He had seen these signs before. Appendicitis, maybe intestinal blockage, something serious, something that could kill. He spoke firmly. "If she doesn't get checked now, you'll need more than a mechanic. You'll need a priest." The guard moved to push Jack away, but Camilla whispered, "No, no hospital. Please." Jack pulled up his sleeve. He showed a tattoo, a wedding ring, and a long scar underneath. The scar from the night he carried his wife too late. He knelt beside Camilla. He spoke softly, just for her. "My wife said the same words. I can't go. I live every day wishing I had carried her anyway." Camilla's eyes went wide. For the first time, she saw someone who understood her fear. Subscribe if you believe sometimes the right person shows up at the worst moment. Jack stood up. He looked at the assistant, then at the security guard, then back at Camilla. "How long has she been in pain?" The assistant checked her phone. "She left the gala about 10 minutes ago, but I think she was uncomfortable during the speeches. Jack did the math. At least 2 hours, maybe more. We need to move, now. The security guard crossed his arms. Sir, you need to step back. This is not your concern. Jack's jaw tightened. When someone is dying in front of me, it becomes my concern. Camilla tried to speak. Her voice was weak. I'm not dying. I just need rest. I'll be fine in the morning. Jack knelt down again. He looked at her hands. They were shaking. He looked at her forehead, covered in sweat. He gently touched her right side. She flinched hard. That reaction tells me everything. Your appendix or something worse. You need a hospital. Camilla's breathing became faster. Panic was setting in, not from the pain, from the word hospital. She grabbed Jack's arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong. You don't understand. That place took my mother. I was 9. I sat in the waiting room. I heard the machines. I heard them yell code blue. I never saw her again. Her voice cracked. If I go in, I won't come out. Jack recognized that look, that fear. He had seen it in the mirror every day for 3 years. He pulled up his sleeve higher. He showed her the full tattoo, a wedding ring with a date, and below it, the scar. This scar is from the night I broke down the hospital door, trying to get to my wife faster. Security had to pull me back. I was too late. She coded in the hallway. I watched them try to save her. He paused. She said the exact same thing you're saying now. I can't go. I'm fine. Just give me a minute. His voice dropped to a whisper. I gave her a minute, then another, then another. By the time I stopped listening to her fear and started listening to my gut, there were no more minutes left. Camilla stared at him. Tears formed in her eyes. What if the same thing happens to me? Jack looked her dead in the eye. Then at least you tried. At least you fought. My wife never got that chance because I was too afraid to make her go. The assistant stepped forward. Miss Rhodes, please, let us help you. The security guard finally seemed concerned. Should I call the ambulance? Jack shook his head. By the time they get through downtown traffic, we could already be there. My van is right here. The guard looked at the old repair van, covered in tool stickers, paint chipped. Definitely not what a millionaire should ride in. You can't be serious. Jack ignored him. He looked at Camilla. I'm not asking your permission. I'm not asking your staff. I'm asking you. Do you trust me? Camilla's whole body was shaking. From pain, from fear, from something deeper. She thought about her mother. How the last thing she ever said was, I love you in that hospital hallway. How Camilla never got to say it back. How she spent 23 years building walls so high that nobody could see her criminally. And now this stranger, this mechanic, with oil on his hands and grief in his eyes, was offering her something nobody else could. A second chance, she nodded. Barely, but it was enough. Jack didn't wait for anyone else to approve. He slid one arm under her knees, one arm behind her back. He lifted her up. The security guard stepped forward. Sir, you cannot just take her. Jack turned. His voice was steel. Watch me. You can call the police. You can call her lawyers. You can call whoever you want. But right now, I'm the only one actually saving her life. He carried Camilla toward his van. The assistant ran ahead to open the door. The inside was nothing like Camilla's world. No leather seats, no luxury, just a passenger seat with a blanket and a child's drawing taped to the dashboard. Lily had drawn it last week, a picture of their van with wings. And the words, Daddy fixes everything. Jack set Camilla down gently. He buckled her seatbelt. He grabbed a clean shop towel and put it in her hand. If you need to throw up, use this. If the pain gets worse, squeeze my arm. Don't be brave. Just tell me. He ran around to the driver's side, started the engine. The van sputtered once before roaring to life. As they pulled out of the parking lot, Camilla looked through the window. She saw the hospital sign in the distance. Those words she had avoided for decades. Emergency entrance. Her chest tightened. Not from pain, from pure terror. Jack noticed. He always noticed. Listen to me. Fear killed my wife faster than any disease. It made her wait. It made her hide. It made her think she could handle it alone. He glanced over. I refuse to let fear kill you too. Camilla closed her eyes. A tear rolled down her cheek. What if I can't do this? Jack's voice was gentle but firm. You already are. Type go if you want to see what happens at the hospital. The drive took 12 minutes, but for Camilla, it felt like 12 hours. Jack kept talking, keeping her focused, keeping her awake. Tell me about your business. What do you do? Camilla's voice was strained. Real estate, commercial properties. I flip buildings. Jack nodded. So you take broken things and make them valuable again. We're not so different. Despite the pain, Camilla almost smiled. Except your broken things don't fight back. Jack laughed. You haven't met some of the engines I work on. He turned onto the hospital street. The emergency sign glowed red in the rain. Camilla's breathing changed. Faster. Shallower. I can't. Jack, I can't. He pulled up to the entrance, put the van in park, turned to face her fully. You know what I realized after my wife died? The thing I was most afraid of wasn't the hospital. It was living with the regret of not trying. He pointed to the doors. Those doors? They're just doors. What's scary is what happens if you don't walk through them. Camilla stared at the entrance. She could see the bright lights inside, the nurses moving, the gurneys, the machines. Her hands gripped the seat. I can't breathe. Jack took her hand. Yes, you can. In through your nose, out through your mouth, just like that. He breathed with her, slowly, steadily. My daughter Lily, she's 8. She asks me every night why mommy didn't come home from the hospital. You know what I tell her? Camilla shook her head. I tell her that mommy was so brave, that she fought so hard, but sometimes brave isn't enough if you start fighting too late. His voice cracked slightly. I also tell her that one day I'll make sure I help someone else's little girl not lose her mommy, even if that mommy is all grown up. Tears streamed down Camilla's face. I don't have kids. Nobody's waiting for me. Jack squeezed her hand. I'm waiting. Right here. I'm not leaving. He got out, came around, opened her door, lifted her again. She didn't protest this time. As they approached the automatic doors, Camilla buried her face in Jack's shoulder. I can't look. Then don't. Just hold on. The doors opened. The smell hit her immediately. Disinfectant, medicine, that unmistakable hospital smell that lived in her nightmares. She started shaking. Jack called out, I need help. Severe abdominal pain, 2+ hours, rigid abdomen, possible appendicitis. A nurse rushed over with a wheelchair. Jack carefully set Camilla down, but she grabbed his arm, wouldn't let go. You promised you'd stay. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. The nurse started wheeling her back. Jack walked alongside. A doctor appeared, young, efficient. When did the pain start? Jack answered because Camilla couldn't speak. She felt discomfort around 6 p.m. By 8:30, it was severe, right lower quadrant, guarding, sweating, elevated heart rate. The doctor looked at Jack. Are you family? No, but I know the signs. My wife died from delayed treatment. Same symptoms. The doctor's expression softened. He understood immediately. We'll take good care of her, I promise. They wheeled Camilla toward the examination room. She looked back at Jack, eyes wide, terrified. He gave her a small nod. You're doing it. You're the bravest person in this building right now. As she disappeared behind the curtain, Jack slumped into a plastic waiting room chair. His hands were shaking. He hadn't realized how scared he was too. A nurse approached him. Sir, are you all right? You have blood on your shirt. Jack looked down. He didn't know if it was from Camilla or from when he scraped his arm on the van door. I'm fine. The nurse studied him carefully. Are you family? No. Then why are you here? Jack looked at the hallway where they took Camilla. Because 3 years ago, I sat in a room like this and waited too long. Tonight, I made sure someone else didn't wait. The nurse's eyes softened. The bathroom is down the hall if you want to clean up. Jack shook his head. I'll wait. 20 minutes passed, then 40. Jack didn't move. His phone buzzed. Lily's babysitter. Is everything okay? You're usually home by now. Jack texted back. Emergency, I'm at the hospital. Tell Lily I love her. I'll explain everything tomorrow. An hour passed. Jack's eyes started to close. The exhaustion of the day, the adrenaline crash, but he forced them open. He promised he'd wait. Finally, the doctor emerged. He walked straight to Jack. You saved her life. Jack stood up. She okay? Acute appendicitis, another 2 to 3 hours and it would have ruptured. She'd be in septic shock. It would have been very bad. Jack's knees almost gave out. He sat back down hard. Can I see her? She's in recovery. She's been asking for you. Jack followed the doctor down the hallway. Past rooms with beeping machines, past nurses rushing, past all the things that haunted him. But this time, he wasn't too late. They reached a small recovery room. Camilla was in a hospital bed. V in her arm, oxygen tube under her nose. But her eyes were open. She saw Jack and immediately started crying. You stayed. Jack pulled up a plastic chair next to her bed. I told you I would. Camilla reached for his hand. I walked through those doors. I actually did it. No, you ran through them, even while you were terrified. She looked around the room at the monitors, the machines, the sterile walls. This is the room my mom died in. Not this exact one, but it looked just like this. Jack nodded. I know, but this time you're not leaving in a body bag. You're leaving with a second chance. Camilla squeezed his hand. Why did you do this? You don't even know me. Jack looked at her, really looked at her. Because someone should have done it for my wife. Because I know what it's like to lose someone to fear. Because you deserved a chance to be brave, even when you were terrified. He paused. And because tonight, saving your life helped save a part of mine too. Camilla closed her eyes. Not from pain, from relief, from exhaustion, from the overwhelming feeling of being alive when she thought she wouldn't be. Jack stayed in that plastic chair, watching the monitors, making sure she kept breathing, just like he wished he could have done 3 years ago. Outside the window, the rain finally stopped. 3 days later, Camilla left the hospital. Doctor's orders, rest 2 weeks, no work. 1 week later, she called Jack. Can you visit? Bring Lily? You don't owe me. Please. They rode the elevator to floor 40. Lily pressed against the glass. Is she rich? Very. Is she nice? Learning. An assistant led them to the corner office. Windows, expensive furniture. Camilla stood by the window. Different now, jeans, sweater. You're pretty, Lily said. Camilla laughed. Thank you, Lily. Your dad said you draw. I draw cars. Camilla handed her a sketchbook. Draw for me. Lily's eyes went huge. She ran to the table. Jack looked at Camilla. You didn't have to. Nobody saw me that night. They saw the millionaire. You saw someone terrified. Jack nodded. Fear looks the same. Camilla pulled out a bracelet. Old. Faded. My mother's. 23 years. Why I refused hospitals. She set it down. Now it reminds me of the mechanic who chose life over fear. She'd be proud. Tears filled her eyes. I want to help. Partnership. She opened a folder. 17 buildings, 63 vehicles. Jack's eyes widened. Many vehicles. You're my mechanic. Real contract. I can't. You saved my life, and let me honor her through what you love. Your daughter, your business. Jack looked at the contract. His daughter, his wife. Second chances. He extended his hand. Partnership. They shook. Lily looked up. Dad, look. The sketchbook showed Jack's van. New paint, logo, wings, second chance garage. Jack's throat closed. Your daughter named your company. Camilla smiled. Jack knelt. Hugged Lily. First time in 3 years the future meant living. Camilla watched them. 2 people who saved her. The hardest doors lead to second chances. When start? Jack asked. Tomorrow. I'm ready. Can I design more? Lily asked. As many as you want. Camilla walked them to the elevator. Thank you for not listening when I said I can't. Thank you for trusting a stranger to doors closed. Descending, Lily held his hand. Did you save her? We saved each other. Lily smiled, looked at her drawing. Can we have a mascot? What kind? A phoenix. They rise from ashes. You helped her rise. Jack stared at his dog. Kids see what adults miss. Perfect. Ground floor. They walked into sunlight. Jack carried the sketchbook. More than a logo. Proof broken things fix. Scared people become brave. Mechanics that save millionaires. Second chances exist. Jack looked up. 40th floor. Camilla watched. She waved. He waved back. Two people almost died from fear. Now living because someone refused to let them. The sketchbook felt light, but the weight of what it represented, heavy, real, beautiful. Lily skipped ahead. Dad, when the garage opens, can I help? You already did. They reached the parking lot. Jack's old van waited, soon with that logo, those wings. He opened the door. Lily climbed in, buckled. Jack sat, started the engine. It sputtered, then roared, just like his life. Sputtering 3 years, now roaring back. He pulled out, headed home. Tomorrow everything changes. New partnership, new business, new future. But today, this moment, he had his daughter beside him. A promise fulfilled. Proof that sometimes saving someone else saves you too. The sun was setting now, orange and pink across the sky. Lily hummed a happy song, something about phoenixes and second chances. Jack smiled, really smiled, the kind of smile that reaches your eyes and touches your soul. His wife would have loved this, loved seeing him happy again. He glanced at the rearview mirror, the city skyline behind them, but the future ahead growing bigger. 6 months later, Second Chance Garage was real. New location, professional equipment, 3 employees, and Lily's logo painted proudly on the side, a wheel with small wings, a wrench, and the words Second Chance Garage underneath. Camilla was Jack's biggest client, but more than that, she became someone he could call at 2 a.m. when Lily had nightmares. Someone who showed up to Lily's school art show. Someone who understood what it meant to lose someone and find yourself again. One afternoon, Camilla called Jack. I need you to come with me somewhere. Where, Hoa? You'll see. They drove to the hospital, the same one from that rainy night. Jack parked in the same emergency entrance. Camilla stared at the building. I'm donating money to renovate the emergency wing. New equipment, better waiting rooms, faster care. Jack looked at her. That's incredible. Camilla unbuckled her seatbelt. I need you to walk in with me. One more time. They got out of the car, stood in front of the automatic doors, the same doors Camilla had been terrified of 6 months ago. She took a deep breath. That night I said I can't go. You dragged me through these doors anyway. Jack shook his head. No, you walked. I just refused to let fear carry you the other way. Camilla smiled. She stepped forward. The doors opened. This time she walked through without hesitation. Inside, they met with the hospital director, signed the donation papers, toured the emergency wing that would bear her mother's name, Maria Rhodes Emergency Center. As they stood in the new waiting room, Camilla turned to Jack. My mother died here. For years, I let that define this place. Let it define my fear. She looked around. But you almost died because fear kept you from acting fast enough for your wife. And I almost died because fear kept me from these doors. Jack nodded. Fear is funny like that. It thinks it's protecting us. But really, it's just stealing our chances. Camilla pulled out her mother's medical bracelet, the one she had carried for 23 years. She handed it to the director. I want this displayed here, as a reminder that sometimes the hardest doors to walk through are the ones that keep us alive long enough to find out why we were spared. The director accepted it carefully. We'll put it in a place of honor. Jack and Camilla walked out together, back through those same doors and into the sunlight. Lily was waiting in Jack's truck. She waved when she saw them. Camilla smiled. Thank you for not listening when I said I can't go. Jack opened the truck door. Thank you for trusting a stranger covered in oil to carry you. As they drove away, Lily asked from the back seat, Dad, did you save another person today? Jack looked at Camilla. She looked back at him. They both smiled. No, sweetheart. Today we saved each other. Subscribe if you believe one stubborn act of kindness can rewrite someone's entire story.